Hi everybody. So I've got my mask marks on my face there. We're heading home. Because we were in town, we already had all of our stuff on. We thought we'd quickly pop into Home Depot and I grabbed some paint and a couple fittings. We're gonna fix some of the plumbing in our house this week. So while I was there though, some really fascinating things happened. First, I was waiting in line to get my paint color mixed, and it was almost like the clerk was intentionally ignoring me, and I think it was because I had my mask, and she's overly talking about how the virus is being overreacted and this, that, and the other thing, and her son was coughing and went to the doctors, and the doctor wouldn't let them in, and people are this is just insane, and she was really scapegoating and downplaying the seriousness of this, and I just kind of stood and did my thing, and then she wouldn't pay attention to me, and finally I had to say, I'm sorry, can you mix these for me? It was overtly rude. It was just something weird was going on, but I didn't care. I got my paint mixed, and then I did later go talk to the manager to say, she's interfacing with people and not taking the disease serious. I'm immunocompromised. This is a life and death event for a lot of people, and just being so nonchalant about it. We're actually in a state of emergency by all three of our governments are saying that, and not accepting and acknowledging the fact that she's putting other people at risk if she's transmitting virus and talking with people all day at work like that. That's not very cool. So he's very apologetic. The manager says he's going to go talk to his staff about it. That's fine. So we get a couple other things. We go to our till. The cashier is wearing gloves. I don't know why. I don't know what the point of that is, but whatever. So she's wearing gloves. I'm social distancing, so I don't come and stand right at the till. I stand about 2 feet away, and I reach and I set all my things on the counter, and I'm standing back. And then I go to give her my card. It's awkward because I can't set my card on the table without coming into her space. So I get my Air Miles card and whatever. I put in my pen, and I'm standing back, and I put everything back in my wallet. And when I get to the car, I sanitize everything. I'm going to wipe it all down. And she says to me, "Oh, so you guys aren't wearing the suits yet? Or the full suits yet?" And I just kind of paused. I didn't even know what to say to that. What kind of an ignorant comment is that to say to someone? And I said, "I'm immunocompromised." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I think I caught that." For real? I was like, really? You're interacting with people. She should definitely be wearing some kind of a face mask or a face shield or something. She's getting droplets sprayed on her all day as people are talking to her, and she's spraying right back at people. I just was so gobsmacked, and it was a real reality of wow, we are so far away from having this controlled. So then my friend today calls me, and she's telling me, she's got all the symptoms of COVID. She's calling 811. It took her 2 days to finally get through to 811. She did the symptom checker. She's a total candidate. And they said, well, until you can give us a confirmed case that you have been exposed to, we can't test you. Are you for real? For real? How is she supposed to know? And that depends, that whole logic depends on whether or not someone else went and took the steps to get tested and had the patience to sit and listen to 811 for days on end to get in and get tested. The logic is so flawed here. We absolutely have sick people walking around who are not getting tested and are being totally nonchalant about this. We're screwed, you guys. I totally, honest to God, thought, yes, people are taking this seriously once we started locking stuff down. The level of ignorance is just mind-boggling that people are not taking this seriously at all. I get it. We've got cabin fever. Look at what's happening in the States right now. People are going to the beach and went out for St. Paddy's Day to the bar. What's going to happen is Americans are going to swarm our border once their health system is already getting overwhelmed. Everyone who is a relative of a Canadian or has a dual citizenship is going to be coming over the border. And we've got all the snowbirds are coming back right now, so we are just gonna get wiped out. Like we're overwhelmed. We do not have enough beds, and we do not have enough ventilators, and our poor hospital staff. So we went to the doctors the other day. We had this appointment. Oh my God, we've been so waiting for this appointment. As somebody with an immune disorder, like, I have to make these appointments. Like, there's no choice about it. So I come in with my mask and everything. I'm gobsmacked that I come into the waiting room, and sure, put a mask on if you're sick. That's great. But all the studies from Singapore, Hong Kong, China, everyone is saying that when people come in, they needed a closed wall waiting room. So they should have turned one of the assessment rooms into a waiting room for people who have a cough their symptoms, and they should have stayed there. And now I'm an immune compromised person, or an elderly person is forced to sit in the same waiting room for up to half an hour with other people who have coughing symptoms, who are wearing face masks and are coughing right in front of us. What the heck? And I felt so bad for this receptionist. She's sitting down with no protection at all. People are breathing right on her. My poor doctors, some of them didn't even have any kind of protection. She put a face mask on for us because she knew, like, we couldn't get sick. And she's checking out our masks, like, oh yeah, she's like really impressed at our N95s, and like, oh yeah, that's really great. And she goes, where did you get them? And I told her we'd had them for a long time. We weren't out running and hoarding and buying them. We'd legitimately had these. And I thought about it after. I was like, oh, maybe I should have offered her one, like. But it started to occur to me, like, even the other day when I went to the testing center, the guy I was interfacing with just had a face shield on and a surgical mask. He's interfacing with he's the very front liner, first contact for people coming in coughing who don't even have masks on yet. And he doesn't have an N95? What the heck is going on? So I'm really blown away that our medical system is not preparing or protecting our frontliners. Like, as this progresses and gets worse, and our medical staff start getting sick, oh my gosh, you guys. So that's my little bit of panic for today. I was really calm and I was really grounded, but I'm kind of upset right now because I've just gone out and I've seen what's happening. This is really discouraging. So again, please stay home. Please take this seriously. This is really brutal. Start your quarantine rooms, because once you guys get sick, it sucks. Okay, so back to the piece, and just understanding that yes, the economy is going to collapse. It's going to happen slowly. It will not happen quickly. Do not run out and hoard stuff now. Now is not the time to be hoarding. Let people get caught up. Let the reality set in. Start planting your garden. Start working with farmers. Grow tons of stuff this summer, and all of your harvest you can preserve and start hoarding that way. Maybe pick up a bag or two of sugar from the grocery store. Don't forget about flour. Don't forget about all that stuff. It's fine. There's lots of grain farmers. We'll be okay. So just fight that urge to hoard. If you need to physically do something to manage your anxiety or feel more protected, work on bug out bags, work on 72-hour survival kits. You can order things like life straws and like emergency blankets and fire blankets from Amazon. You can start doing those types of things, but try not to hoard the food. Just leave people alone for right now. Let people get calm down. There are people who are absolutely desperate who need that food supplies right now, so just leave it. So yeah, those are some things you can start to do, and start to come up with a plan. Maybe make a list or a budget of the stuff you want to do. Create some orderly flow of your food preps of what you want to do. So that's one thing you can start doing in the meantime. But stay calm. Work on mindfulness. Work on trauma recovery, EFT. I think it's like emotional feelings technique or something. Those are all skills to have for managing stress and anxiety during traumatic systems and helping heal from post-traumatic stress disorder. What else are some really... There's just tons of stuff you can do right there. And working on your network. So focus on your network. Who can you help? Who can help you? Who's going to watch out for you when you get sick? And who can you watch out for when you're sick? Start doing that sort of stuff. If your kids are at home, work with other parents and say, okay, whose kids are not sick, and can we babysit occasionally each other's kids so that one of us can go to the grocery store, or maybe we need to get some work done and just not have the kids bugging us right now. Unfortunately, oh my gosh, the leadership in Alberta. Oh, I'm going to do a whole second post on that. But the leadership in Alberta is just ridiculous. We don't have consistent information. In one breath, the chief medical officer is saying it's ineffective to close schools for a couple weeks. We'll close it till September. That has caused insane panic. But just deal with spring break. Just say for right now it's the 2 weeks, like all the other provinces were. We'll reassess later. But it's caused this total panic, and now people are dragging their kids everywhere. And it's escalating this recession fallout, and just totally freaked everybody out. And then the next day they went and they closed all the schools till September. So people had very little warning. It needed to be done. Yes, we absolutely needed to close it, but we didn't need to give that kind of information. We could have said, for right now, we're going to close it for 2 weeks. It potentially could go into September, but for right now, we'll reassess in 2 weeks or something along those lines. That caused a heck of a lot of panic. There was something else that came out with the chief medical. Oh, and then this whole 14 days unpaid sick leave, and then, it is paid, and now it's unpaid, and now it's EI, and now it's only for people who meet criteria. Okay, well, first, if we can't get through to 811 to get tested, if we haven't left the country within the last month, and maybe we've gotten it from a community thing, or what if we don't even have it and our jobs just shut down because they had to? Like those are all things that are outside of the criteria. So a lot of people still are not getting the financial support that they're going to be needing. Just so much chaos then ensued, and then panic, and people are really, really scared of not being able to pay bills. So this again all goes back. My next video here, if you're still interested in hearing me rant and rave, we're going to get constructive, and we're going to start talking about what we can do to prevent full-on economic collapse, but also to protect ourselves in the future, so that if this ever happens again, we don't feel as vulnerable and we don't have this kind of panic. And then just smart ways of creating our new society where we're not so heavily relying on municipal systems, where we don't have to be taxed like crazy, where we can start to achieve more self-reliance and self-sustainability. All right, see you in a bit.